from your local election headquarters. This is Big Country Politics on KTAB.
All right, thanks for staying with us. Here are some of the highlights from Place 5. This is a race between incumbent Kyle McAllister, Cynthia Alvidrez, and Corey Clements.
And here are the questions. Let's get right to them. You'll have 60 seconds to respond to this first one. Kyle McAllister, you are under the spotlight for social media posts deemed racist by some. Have you learned anything from that?
Well, first off, again, Bob, thank you for having us here this evening. And yes, I have learned quite a bit. You know, when these posts were brought to my attention, I did address them. I removed them from my Facebook and have apologized and am truly sorry for any hurt that I caused anyone. What I have learned to be more thoughtful in what I say. I have learned to be more careful in what I say, and I've learned to maybe take a step back and think about what I say. What I've also learned from people is grace and compassion and forgiveness. In fact, a lot of people that were offended by what I said have visited with me, and I've visited with them, and have been the recipient of a lot of grace and a lot of forgiveness, and we've shed some tears over this. But I have learned quite a bit. Yes, sir.
All right, we have, I'd like a follow-up question with you. Your Facebook page, we checked within the last hour, and it has a phrase, "The views expressed here do not reflect the views of anyone else but me. If they offend you, you're too sensitive." How does that play?
I don't even remember putting that there. That has been there probably for 6 or 7 years. I think I probably put that on there when I first started Facebook. I did not realize it was still there. I will take that down.
All right. Well, yes, so you have learned something from this
and I didn't even know that was there.
Okay.
So yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Well, we appreciate that. Cynthia Alvidrez, are you running for Place 5 because of what Mr. McAllister has said on his social website?
It isn't the only reason, but it is a contributing factor. When you analyze these racist comments that were made by Mr. McAllister, the failed censure, and the way in which the Abilene City Council ripped the voices away from its citizens, you can't help but notice that there is an unequal distribution of power and control, and that within itself is creating a financial crisis, not only for the citizens that live here in Abilene, but also for our community as well.
All right. Cynthia Alvidrez, thank you very much. And now, Corey Clements, your response to, are you in this because of what Mr. McAllister had to say?
That is not a factor in why I determined to run. I ran in 2017 for the same reason I run today. I think that I bring a lot to the table by being able to represent my clients every day with the skills that I have as an attorney. And I hope to translate those on the City Council to be able to represent each and every one of you on the City Council. My name is Corey Clements. I'm an attorney here in Abilene, and I've invested in a law firm here starting at the age of 24. I now employ 4 people with salaries, combined salaries over $200,000, not including my own. I know what it's like to run a business here. The nature of my job is very adversarial, meaning we deal in conflict every day. We have to take a lot of hard stances, but we have to do that in a manner that demands respect and decorum. And I think that's what's missing in our national politics in the national level, and with some people here on the local level as well. I believe it's necessary to have the ability to have a disagreement and to shake hands and move on.
All right, Corey, thank you very much. Our next question, what opportunities do you believe Abilene falls short on in becoming and remaining a cutting-edge city? You have 1 minute to answer, and Cynthia Alvidrez, we'll begin with you.
It's obvious that Abilene falls short on its diversification of its leadership. Abilene will never become a cutting-edge city as long as it fails to realize the importance surrounding diversity that is that mirrors the diversification or the diversity that exists in its community. So until we get to a point in this city where we diversify our leaders, we will never be a cutting-edge city.
Thank you. Corey Clements.
Well, I've been saying it all along. Abilene has all the pieces. We just need a little help putting them all together. I think where we fall short is capitalizing on our geographic location as it relates to the state. With I-20, we fall short in our airline capabilities here, and we fall short in attracting small business, medium-sized business, and retaining young talent. I think those are areas where we fall short, but we have the ability to put everyone together.
Thank you very much. Let's move on to our third question. And oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you kept me on the straight and narrow, Kyle.
Well, thank you. And I do agree that we need to take advantage of the resources we have here, which do include our interstate access, our railroad system, and our airport system. We also need to make sure that we as a city provide to our consumers, to our customers, to the citizens, the technology available to help them with doing business with the city. One of the new things we have is called See Click Fix. It's a new app that folks have that allows them to immediately contact the city with problems, and that's some of the things that from a technologically cutting edge standpoint that we are doing to change in the city.
Now, what should the city of Abilene be doing about the homeless population in town? Recently, the city announced that housing has been provided for all the homeless veterans. What should we do, if anything, about the other homeless people on our streets? And let's begin with Cynthia Alvidrez.
First of all, I just want to address the comment that Corey made. No one's confused as to what he was saying. And what you do need to know is he's obviously confused on the single member districts and how at-large districts works. And so in order to begin eradicating homelessness, you might want to listen, Corey, you have to analyze the systematic oppression that exists in our society. And you have to realize that the reason that the contribution to these reasons as to why they have found themselves into the situations that foster homelessness. So when you're talking about at-large districts, when you're talking about single-member districts, you cannot deny the fact that there is systematic oppression there.
And now Corey Clements on homelessness in Abilene.
Sure. We now need to focus on the rest of the homeless population, and I believe that that is the job of the private sector. And I think what the city does well and what the city can continue to do is work with nonprofits like Work Again Texas, which has their opening debut April 30th, to help get homeless people back to work and give them an opportunity to be trained. Again, we need to work with groups like Hope Haven, whose funding helps to partner with businesses such as Abilene, who helps to employ and train those who are struggling with homelessness.
Thank you very much. And Kyle McAllister.
And I agree, as you know, different homeless populations have different needs, and as we address one and then we move to the other, we need to look at the different needs of those populations. As far as, one of the things that we as the city has done when we recently looked at the new CityLink routes is that we made sure that the bus routes were available to help people get to jobs. Well, if people have a good way to get to a job, that can help with their income and help them, if they're in a homeless situation, to maybe find a place to live. And so it is partnering with local nonprofit organizations to make sure that people have resources to help them, get out of the homelessness cycle.
Early voting does start Monday. And still to come here on Big Country Politics, a United States Senator visits Dice Air Force Base. Why he was here, we're back in 2 minutes.